The NBA trade deadline is here and some crazy moves have already happened. This is your Denver Sports Daily for February 6th.
The biggest stories, the latest news. It's Denver Sports Daily.
The NBA trade deadline is today at 1 p.m. It's closing down after that. No more moves can happen, but the moves around the league have been crazy throughout this week. Now, earlier this week, obviously, Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers in a three-team trade that landed the Mavericks. Anthony Davis, huge, broke the internet. People were thinking it wasn't real. I was thinking it wasn't real. I thought ESPN got hacked legitimately. That was obviously the biggest one that kind of kicked off all the other moves that have happened this week. And there are more to happen today. There's already been a few that have happened last night within the past couple days. Following that big Luka Doncic trade, the Sacramento Kings sent De'Aaron Fox to the San Antonio Spurs, and the Kings ended up receiving Zach LaVine from the Bulls in another three-way trade. And then last night, the Heat traded Jimmy Butler to the Warriors for Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, and a protected first-round pick in a massive four-team trade that involved the Warriors, Heat, Jazz, and Pistons. Massive. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about, Jimmy Butler, too, being on the Heat. He wasn't doing well. He not only not doing well, but he wasn't playing with the team. He walked out of team practices, was getting benched indefinitely because of how he was acting, and they wanted him gone. It was very clear that the Heat wanted him gone just as much as he wanted to leave. So him going to the Warriors, as much as it sounds like a threat, it's not. It's not to the West. It won't be. The Warriors are not going to be a better team now. They were built for how they were back in 2015 through 2021. They were a great team. They were a dynasty. A move like Jimmy Butler, who's proven that he can't win at the highest level, is not going to move the needle. It really isn't. And giving up players like Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, and Kyle Anderson is not going to help them anymore. And then another trade last night, Brandon Ingram from the Pelicans is going to the Toronto Raptors in another big trade that has Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick going back to the Pelicans in return from Toronto. Big moves happening all around the league. I've actually got Twitter pulled up right now from Shams because he's just cranking these out right now. This is probably his biggest work day of the year. You always see these videos of after the trade deadline, these guys like Shams it shows his screen time, and he's got like some 19 hours on his phone. It's incredible the work that these guys put in, but they're making sure to get everything out as fast as they can. I'm making sure to bring it to you as fast as I can. But with all those big trades, it's not expected that the Nuggets are going to follow that. They're not going to make any big moves, really. People have wanted MPJ to go out. I don't agree with that. I don't want MPJ to leave. I don't see any reason for him to leave, especially with the way that he's been playing recently. I'll get into that in a little bit. But the only move that I could see is possibly moving that 2031 first-round pick that the Nuggets have, and maybe Zeke Naji, maybe Julian Strother, if they want to get somebody bigger off that bench. I could see that. But don't expect anything too big from the Nuggets. I really don't think that the Nuggets are going to go make a splash at the trade deadline. I just don't think so. And, maybe it's unfortunate for some people, but this team right now is playing great, and they need to keep this team together, especially that starting unit. And that's where I stand on that. Now, moving on, the NFL honors are tonight. Tonight, the NFL will honor the best players of the year, but there are a few Broncos that may win tonight. Now, Bo Nix is a finalist for Rookie of the Year alongside Washington's Jane Daniels, Las Vegas's Brock Bowers, New York's Malik Neighbors, and Jacksonville's Brian Thomas. Nix's season was nothing less than spectacular, throwing for 3,775 yards and 29 touchdowns and adding 430 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. And though he may not be the favorite to win, the Broncos clearly have their guy. They have a bright future with this guy in the quarterback spot. He's amazing under center. This guy is incredible. And any other season, if Jaden Daniels isn't here, Bo Nix is winning Rookie of the Year. He's still a Rookie of the Year in my heart, but you can't really compete with a guy who brings a terrible team last year to the NFC Championship the next year. And Jaden Daniels is that guy. There's not going to be any slander on this side because he's incredible. Now, the second finalist is Sean Payton. He's for Coach of the Year alongside Detroit's Dane Campbell, Minnesota's Kevin O'Connell, and Washington's Dan Quinn. Also, Kansas City's Andy Reid. Now, Payton dealt with a team that had the worst salary situation in the league, the whole Russell Wilson ordeal, and a rookie quarterback, and yet he still succeeded. He brought this team to the playoffs. Incredible. He found his guy. He got who he wanted, and he brought them to the playoffs. Sean Payton, he could win tonight. Now, again, He probably will lose to a coach like Dan Quinn for the Commanders again, or maybe Kevin O'Connell, who led his team to a number 2 seed, a 14-win Minnesota Vikings team with Sam Darnold as the quarterback. So those two might end up beating Sean Payton, unfortunately. But last but definitely not least, Patrick Surtain was named finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. He joins Philadelphia's Zach Bond, Cleveland's Myles Garrett, Pittsburgh's TJ Watt, and Cincinnati's Trey Hendrickson. Now, Surtain is most likely of all three of those players to win the award. He not only had a great season from a team standpoint, but from an individual standpoint, he played incredibly well. There was that stat a little past midway of the season where QBs would statistically have a higher QB rating if they threw the ball into the ground every play rather than target Patrick Surtain. That is the craziest stat I have ever heard. And if that doesn't make you DPOY, then I don't know what will. Now, the award ceremony begins tonight at 7 p.m. Hopefully, Patrick Surtain can go out there and represent the Broncos and get a win, because that would just be huge. And I know Broncos country really all wants it. Now, moving on, the Nuggets took care of the Pelicans in their final matchup of the season, beating them 114-119. In the second game of their mini series, the Nuggets looked dominant. Now, the first half of the game was tight, but in the third quarter, the Nuggets turned up off the back of mostly Nikola Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. They had incredible performances. MPJ matched his career high in points with 39, and he added 12 rebounds and 4 assists. The craziest part of that is the 4 assists. When do you see Michael Porter Jr. dishing the rock 4 times, just passing it, let alone 4 times in a game, but getting 4 assists is incredible. So obviously great play from Michael Porter Jr., but added or paired with Nikola Jokic's 38 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists, that was easily enough to just handle the Pelicans, just dominate them on all facets. Now, after that win, the Nuggets extended their win streak to 4 in a row, and they still sit in the 4th spot in the West with a record of 32-19, but they're only half a game behind the Houston Rockets, and they can extend tonight as they play against the Orlando Magic. Now, their game again tonight tips off at 7 p.m. Incredible play. The Nuggets have been on one. They've been heating up. They've been looking good. Michael Porter Jr. has heard the trade talk, and he doesn't want to hear any more of it. He is great. This is the kind of play that really excels a team from good to great, a team from a playoff team to a championship team. He's been great. He should be the third option on this team. And honestly, as a scorer, he should be the first option. He should be the first option for scoring. Michael Porter Jr., he's 6'10", shoots like a point guard, moves like a center, or moves like a point guard, can rebound like a center. He's great. This guy has to get more touches. For a long part of the season, he wasn't shooting very many threes. Last night and the game before, he had 5 threes last night. The game before, 7 threes. Let him shoot when he gets to his spot. That's all I got to say on that. Now, it is an Avalanche game day tonight, the night the Avs are continuing their Canadian road trip as they take on the Calgary Flames. Now, on Tuesday, the Avs were shut out by the Vancouver Canucks, which ended their mini 2-game win streak. And if the Avs can win tonight, they would tie up the standings with Minnesota for 3rd in the Central Division. So obviously a big game. Now, the Avs are headed into this game as slight favorites, and their game will begin at 7 p.m. So that's all for your Denver Sports Daily. I do want to read a few of your comments. Let's see. Hey there, Joey. Jaden Daniels will win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Don't want a guys for Coach of the Year. Too many of them. I think I understand. Jaden Daniels will win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. No doubt about that. No doubt in my mind. Unfortunately, it can't be Bo Nix. And as I was saying, in any other season, it's Bo Nix. But you got to give respect to Jaden Daniels. Incredible. You got to just watch, sit back. He is doing things that have never been done before. He almost went to a Super Bowl as a rookie. That's never been done before. And I honestly thought that they had a chance. But when you're going up a team like the Eagles, it's not really possible. Now that's going to do it for your Denver Sports Daily. Big news. On Monday, the showtime will be moving to 9 a.m. There's going to be a few changes around the Denver Sports YouTube channel and all the digital facets. 9 a.m. is when this show will be moving to. So make sure you tune in. And if you can't tune in live, make sure you watch it later. I love reading all you guys' comments when you get in there later. It's definitely a part of my day. I try to get in there and reply to all of you. So make sure 9 a.m. mark it in your books, 9 a.m. time for Denver Sports Daily. But I will be back with you guys again tomorrow, hopefully recapping Patrick Surtain win. of DPOY, I think it's going to be done. Really, that's not much of a competition anymore. He's number one in most people's eyes. So I will be back tomorrow recapping that. But until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. I will see you all later. Bye, y'all.